How's it going, class? Okay, we're going to go over about 5 problems for chapter 5. Super quick review, meaning I am literally just going to go over probably the most common questions you might see on a test, generally what you can expect, and usually the main questions that people have questions on. Okay, so only 5 of them, similar to that review page I gave you. So if you're watching this, hopefully this helps. Let's go ahead and jump into first question. Okay, first question says, which point lies on the graph of y minus 2x equals negative 4. Okay, and here you're given 4 points, right? There's one right here, 2, 3, 4. Now, the question is, which of these points works for this function? So the easiest way to do this is to plug in the point into where it goes, right? This is the x, for example. Here for this one, this is a 1. This one would go here where the x is. This negative 3 would go where the y is, and we would solve it and see which one gives us the same value on the other side. Okay, so let me try out this b right here for you. Okay, so assuming we have, let's see, I'm going to rewrite it. Now I'm going to just plug in the points. Remember the points, this is the 1, was going to go right there. And then we have the negative 3 goes right there. So I'm going to plug them in with parentheses just because I like to be careful. Oh, hold on. So I have negative 3 minus, oh my God, I'm messing up here, 2 times 1 equals negative 4, and I'm going to solve this. Let's see, it's negative 3, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 equals negative 4. That's going to give me negative 5 equals negative 4. Now, the question to you is, does this equal the same thing? If it doesn't, you need to know that this is not the answer. So we're going to cross this off. This is not the answer. Okay? Let me jump into the other answer over here. Let's go over here to this one. I'm going to write it out. Y minus 2x equals negative 4. I'm going to plug in my x and my y, right? That's my y right here. So I'm going to do negative 8 minus 2 times negative 2 equals negative 4. I should probably keep this in a straight line, and I didn't. I apologize. Okay, we got negative 8. Oh, this is looking a little confusing now. Hold on. Let me keep it in blue. Negative 8. Let's see. Here we have negative 2 times negative 2. That's positive 4. Okay, then we have negative 8 plus 4. Negative 4 equals negative 4. Guess what? These match. Therefore, this is our answer.
Whoa, dude.
Exactly. So amazing, isn't it? All right, next one. Find the slope of the line given by, and they give you an equation. Now, notice how this looks nothing like this. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. I meant to write down the variable. Remember this? Do you remember how this m right here represents the slope, and this b represents where you start? Basically, this is the y-intercept. So whenever you have an equation that looks like, that's already in this format, it's very easy to tell what the slope is and where to start. Where's the y-intercept? But when it looks like this, we need to change it first so that it looks like this. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do here. Let's change this equation around. There's my line. I'm going to take care of the 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Divide everything by 2 and do individual fractions. Now I'm going to get y equals negative 3 over 2 x plus 6. Okay, that's it. Remember, this is where you start. This is your y-intercept. So if I asked you to graph this, you would graph it right on the 6. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your point right there. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so messing her up right now. I apologize. Hold on. So if you were to graph this, I'm thinking something else. You would start at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the y-intercept. There's your point. And then I'm going to go down 3, positive 2. Look, because it says down 3, positive 2. You can only use a negative once. So I'm going to go down 3, positive 2. So it's around there, right? And I'm going to draw my line. And guess what another thing is? Do you remember that? What kind of slope this is? This is a negative slope. And look what kind of number you have here for your slope. This is negative also. Look where it's at. It's right here also. This is negative. Right away, you should know when you graph this picture, it should be sloping downward. Because you also remember how to draw a slope man, right? Which you should have on your test cards or your study notes, because this slope person helps you refresh your memory in terms of what kind of slopes those are. Oh my goodness. All right, sorry about that. Quick announcement, huh? Okay, so anyways, going back to this, our slope is negative 3, 2. There's your answer right there, negative 3, 2. Okay, sounds good? Of course.
Whoa, dude.
Yes, yes, yes. Next one. What is the equation of a line that has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 3, negative 10? Well, there's several ways to do this, okay? The most common way is for you to use the point slope formula. Do you remember what this point slope formula looks like? Do you? Like this cat over here. Well, let me give it to you. If you forgot it, you should not have forgotten it. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Now there's tons of ways to do this problem. This is one way. Remember, there's other ways. You can use the slope-intercept formula instead. But I'm going to use this one instead. So there's your slope is 4. That goes right there. Be careful when you're plugging in these points. That 3 is going to go right there. And the negative 10 goes right here. But put it in parentheses because we have another negative right here. So I'm going to write it out. Y minus parentheses negative 10 equals 4x minus 3. Okay, I'm going to work this side out. Y plus 10. Let me draw my line. Equals, I'm going to share here, 4 times x, 4 times negative 3. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm going to get rid of this 10 over here on this side, right? Got to get rid of this 10. Do the opposite of plus 10. Oh, it's not 2, right? I hope you didn't see that it's 2. I hope it's not 2. I hope you're thinking it's not 2. That's negative 12 minus 10. Negative 12 minus 10. If you're so used to doing that do thing, go for it. Negative 12 plus negative 10 plus negative 10, which is negative 22. There's your answer. Okay? Which happens to be the 8. Sounds good? Let's move on. 2 more. What's the y-intercept of this graph? What is the y-intercept? Well, guess what? This is a super easy problem, especially if you remember how to do the zeros. Do you remember those zeros I asked you guys to show? And
Mr. Mike, 226.
oh my goodness. Another announcement, huh? Remember those zeros that I asked you to use? Or the hand. Remember how I told you to use your fingers and cover up part of it and then solve for the y? Or cover up this side and solve for the x, and that gives you the answer right away. Okay, so but what I'm going to use here, I'm going to use here my zero method, the one way I told you how to use it originally. Remember how how you guys do this? The zeros. Whenever you see the word intercepts, think about this, the zeros that I showed you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in zeros here. I'm going to plug in a 0 for the x. Y equals 6. Okay? Now what are they asking you for? They're asking for the y-intercept, right? What did I just find out right now? I just found out the y-intercept. This is y-intercept because it says y equals this. So this is your y-intercept. So I don't even need to find this other one right here because this one right here is for the x-intercept. I got my y, meaning your answer is C. Okay? Now, could it have worked had you done it with that covering up the number with your finger? Of course it would have, right? Because how easy is it this way also? All you got to do is take your finger, cover this up right here, right? Imagine you don't want this, and all you're using is this 2. Done. All right? Okay, next one. I know. Fascinating, isn't it? Of course.
Whoa, dude.
All right, last one here. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this equation, and it goes through this point right here. So look, they're telling you that they want you to find the equation of a line that's perpendicular to this one right here. So look, what's the slope of this one right here then? The slope of this equation, actually, you know what? Let me just show you with the graph here. Let me see if I pull up a graph real quick. I'm going to graph it over here real quickly. Let me graph this one right here. This is y equals negative 4x plus 2. That means I'm going to start at positive 2, somewhere in here, and go down 4. Remember, my slope here is negative 4. That means I'm going to go down 4 over 1. Down 4 over 1. Okay, let me draw my line real quickly just so I have a line. I'll use this one. Something like that. All right. Now here's what a big clue to you is, and it helps if you graph it sometimes, right? But you're trying to look for a line that goes this way, right? It has to go this way because it has to be perpendicular to it. But you don't really know. You're trying to determine what's the actual equation of this line, though. Okay? Let me get this out of the way. So let's find it. Do you remember what I told you about the slope of the other line? If this one's negative 4, let me write it out over here. If this slope is negative 4, then what's the other one going to have to be if it's perpendicular to it? Do you remember what we said? We said that the other one had to be the negative reciprocal. So basically, what's the opposite of this one? Positive. And do the reciprocal of 4? 1 over 4. So we're going to want to use this right here. Basically a 1/4. Okay? Now we're going to use 1/4, and I want you to use this point right here, and we're going to use that point slope formula. Now we're going to plug it in. Plug in your slope. There's 1/4. I'm going to have x, and then I got to plug in, what's my x here? It's a negative, wait, hold on, let me write this, x minus parentheses, right, because I'm going to plug in a negative a. You got to be super careful here, otherwise you're going to mess up with your signs. Equals y minus, looks like my y is just a 5, right? Okay, now I'm going to work this out here. Let's see. Well, you know what? Let me take care of this mess in here. I don't like this. 2 negatives right here. What does this give you? That gives you positive. So let me go ahead and change this up right in here. This is going to be positive. X plus 8. Okay, that's it. That's better. Let's go ahead and share this with this. That's going to be 1/4 x. And share this with this. Oh, what is that? What's 1/4 times 8? Well, let me imagine my little one underneath here. I'm going to get 8 over 4, which is 2, right? Okay. Some of you can do that in your head. If you can, you're amazing. It's the last step here. Get rid of that -5, right? Plus 5. Plus 5. So my answer here, guys, y equals, should have a line down the middle, right? 1/4 x plus 7. Okay, that's your answer. I know. It's amazing.
Whoa, dude.
I know. Yes, look at this. So amazing. That's about it, guys. So that line, let me just graph it. It says 1/4 x plus 7. Let me graph it on this line right here. It says to start at 7. And it says to go up 1 over 4. Well, let me just test it, see if it works. Up 1. Let me grab my line. me to show Sandha. Let me bring it forward. Up 1 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there, right? The dot there. Draw your line. Is that perpendicular? Does it make a perfect 90-degree angle there? You bet it does. That's perpendicular, okay? And that's pretty much it, guys. I think that's the only last column that I had on there. Let me check. Yes, indeed. Okay. Your answer's there. And hopefully this helped you out a little bit, if not more. If you need more help, please ask me during class. But I think this should have helped you guys out. If you need to look over another problem again, or look over the problem again, go back, rewind, and watch it again. Okay? That's it. See you in class.